And now, it's time for my two quarters. Two guys who need no introduction, because nobody wants to meet them in the first place. FragKing and Silvix.
Welcome to another episode of My Two Quarters, brought to you by PX Productions and FragKing Gaming. I am FragKing. Alongside me, I got Silvix. Say hi, Silvix.
Hi, Silvix.
Oh, you messed it up, man. What the fuck? That's how we roll. In case this is your first time here, it's a talk show about gaming. If this is your second time here, thank you for being such a loyal viewer. Because this is only our second show, so it's probably gonna sound, I don't know, like we have no clue what we're doing, right?
Right on.
Right on.
I'm multitasking.
That's how we do here. That's how we do here on Radio Discord, FragKing Gaming. What? But yeah, last time we talked to you guys a little bit about about our views on gaming in general. We're gonna try to do a little more specific things here and there. You know what? You know what I mean, right, Silvix?
I got you. Got you. What do I have?
I don't know. What do you have?
I got nothing but time, buddy.
All right. Well, why don't you kick off the festivities this fine day?
All right. Well, as everybody knows, there's constantly a war between Intel and AMD, or more specifically, NVIDIA and AMD.
Which I don't really understand why there's got to be a war of that, man.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's just like your console wars.
Yeah,
it'll never
as
end.
pointless.
It's just because you don't have what they have.
Right?
Anyway, there's speculations that a lot of games don't work as well on AMD machines as on NVIDIA machines. And one example of this is the new game that's out. It's called Watch Dogs. And apparently there's like severe performance drops if you're playing on AMD as compared to an NVIDIA card. Like you can even look at the benchmarks online and you can see the difference. I don't understand. I've built this AMD machine custom and I haven't had any problems with any of the games that I've played yet.
Yeah, I got AMD also, and I don't know. We talked about before whose tower was better. I think the only real difference, I have a 6-core processor and you have what, a 4?
Right. Mine's on a budget. I'm working on upgrading it.
But,
I need to get a new motherboard.
I just started playing Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is like literally a next-gen game. Like it's the first one I've played so far. I tried to do Titanfall, but my laptop couldn't run it because my laptop pretty much might as well be taken out back and shot. But I mean, running an AMD that I do, I mean that game ran just fine. I mean, to me, it either has to be the way the game's just made, how it renders its graphics, or some other little thing in between. I ain't no game designer, so I don't know all the details.
Right.
But I mean, to me, it's like you would either, because I mean, AMD and Intel or NVIDIA, take a pick. They do they make their things do the same thing.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they're both going to run what you want it to run, and it really just depends on the processing power of the items that you're using. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, the way I see it is Intel isn't really meant for overclocking. You know what I mean? Like they bring their shit out it's already the max it should do. You know what I mean?
Right.
But AMD is a lot more fluid in that because they allow you to overclock, and they even encourage it if you haven't noticed with the Black Edition processors. Like they want you to overclock. So that's what I love about AMD. Like they support that, and Intel is just like, nope, you take it the way we have it. That's my biggest issue between the two. That's why I prefer AMD.
You bend over and you take it. The only addition you get's maybe some lube.
Yeah.
If we feel like it.
Like I'm running an FX 4300. It's a 3.8 gigahertz. And I pair that up with an AMD Radeon R7 200 series GPU. And I don't have any problems in games, and I run most of my games in Ultra.
Right. I mean, the only time when I don't run a game in Ultra is, say, like I throw a certain mod that's real heavy on my performance. I mean, then yeah, I'm gonna back it down. But I mean, that's a whole nother story. That's you altering things yourself. I mean, when it comes to the hardware that they give you, I feel I should be able to run whatever I want to on that hardware. I mean, I don't feel like I want to play one game, I throw in my AMD processor. Oh, I want to play this game, I throw in my Intel or more my i8 or whatever. To me, that's not gonna really that's not cool to me. I mean, I won't play a game if that's what I gotta do.
Not to mention AMD is often cheaper than Intel parts too.
Right, and to me, I personally I like AMD better. I like that it gives more. You definitely have a lot more options when it comes to what you can do with them once they're installed. And
right.
I mean, overclocking. Come on, overclocking.
Yeah,
I mean,
the overclocking is just fun. I mean, you can overclock an Intel. I'm not saying you can't do that. Some of them you can overclock, but for the most part, Intel just comes the way it is.
Yeah, it's more of a risk to overclock an Intel.
Yeah.
I mean, my processor, I got a 6-core that comes with it has the turbo with it.
You got the 6300, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, the FX 6300. The next step up from mine.
Yeah, I don't have my stats right in front of me, or else this would be a lot of smoother conversation. But mine came with turbo, and I mean, it's a cool that AMD wanted to help me out a little bit. So here, you don't have to overclock. You don't want. We got this turbo function for you. You're starting to bog down. We got you. Boom, 1.4 to 3.8, got you covered. But it's really nice of them to do that, but it is pretty noticeable in game when the turbo kicks in.
Yeah.
Like say if I'm recording a FragKing does New Vegas, I'll be running through the wasteland. All of a sudden, like I see a little jump in the screen. All of a sudden, like I'm moving like different, or like the 3D effect that you can put on kind of looks a little better. I mean, you can tell that kind of stuff. That I'm not. It's a nice thing that they tried, but I'm probably gonna wind up going in my BIOS and disabling it and just
right. It's like I told
you
about it. You're seeing that because at that point your processor's maxing out and it's jumping up. That's when it's kicking in. That's what you're noticing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, which
I never agreed. Like, I don't see the point of turbo. Like, that's cool. Like, it's not really good for gaming. I mean, for obvious reasons, because your frame rate goes up and down when you play a game.
I'm sure it's meant for other things.
But yeah, like if you're running like business and stuff like that, and like you have 40 different programs open that you're working on for something, some sort of project, I can see how it could be useful because it will bump you up just because your software is capitalizing on your processor.
Right. I mean, it's a cool thing. I probably should have thought a little more about my choice in a processor when I got mine. But I mean, despite that, I mean, at least AMD's putting little nifty innovations like that to help you out in whatever thing you need. I mean, yeah, you can go in your BIOS and disable it, which is helpful. But then it's a feature that sells the product that you just aren't able to use. I mean,
right. I mean, for me, I think AMD is a great company all around, and I proudly support any AMD technologies. So.
Yeah,
it just is what it is. Like I don't really care for Intel for the reasons I discussed already.
Right.
So
I mean, I'm not saying Intel's bad. I'm not saying they're a bad company.
There's nothing
I'm not
wrong
saying
with
they're evil. I'm just
not good for gaming and what I'm trying to do.
Right. To me, AMD's more of a consumer-based operation, and when it comes to Intel, because you'll definitely see more like business networks or in the conference room, you'll definitely see more not AMD, Intel products.
Right.
They're to me they're more based on like a corporate level, where AMD's more of a here you can do this on a corporate level, but if you're a gamer, we also got this for you.
Right. I actually want to share a quote here I have in regards to this, and I still haven't figured out how to correctly pronounce this guy's name. I'm sure I'm going to screw it up. But it's according to Forbes.com, and it's a tech journalist named Joel Hruska. It's Hruska?
Hruska?
Something like that, but he's from Extreme Tech. And he had, in regards to this Watch Dogs issue, and more or less gaming in general on an AMD machine.
Oh yeah, well, what was the deal with Watch Dogs? You said it was not optimized to run on AMD.
Yeah, like Intel definitely takes the cake when you're playing the game, because you can see significant performance drops in AMD in the game. And it's not that they specifically designed, the game for NVIDIA, but apparently it's just lacking with AMD machines. And there's really no explanation why. And let me share this quote with you quick, because it covers that in the end of it. This guy, Joe Hruska, that's what we're going to say.
Hruska.
He says, AMD is no longer in control of its own performance. While GameWorks doesn't technically lock vendors into NVIDIA solutions, and GameWorks is a contributor to Watch Dogs, a developer that wanted to support both companies equally would have to work with AMD and NVIDIA from the beginning of the development cycle to create a vendor-specific code path. it's impossible for AMD to provide a quick after-launch fix. This kind of maneuver ultimately hurts developers in the guise of helping them. And whether or not you agree with that assessment, this continues, Hruska successfully prophesized this very day back in December, saying, and while we acknowledge that current GameWorks titles implement no avert to AMD penalties, developers who rely on that fact in the future may discover that their games run unexplainably poor on AMD hardware with no insight into why. So really, it's almost like they don't know why it's not running on AMD. It's just, and you can't really blame AMD for it either at the same time, because they're, you know what I mean? Like, why should they have to change? You know what I mean? Like, it should be formatted for both Intel and AMD.
All right, I agree with that 110%. It's you could also even in this same aspect bring into how certain developers will only make a like a console specific game, like a game specific to PlayStation, a game specific to Xbox,
right?
And or PC exclusive. I mean,
well, that comes down. It comes down into a marketing standpoint too between all these.
Right. I mean, you got licensing deals.
Right, and Intel is usually the go-to for most companies because Intel's been around longer, I believe. Right. I'm pretty sure Intel was, way back. Yeah. They started way back. You know what I mean? I remember seeing the commercials when I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking don't quote me on. I think they might go far as back as Silicon Valley days. But the point I'm trying to make is when it comes to when it comes to developing a game for a specific console, I mean, you don't just make this here's this one copy of the game. Here you go, Xbox have this, PlayStation have the same thing. It doesn't work that way. You got to port it over because I mean, each console's it's made differently. I mean, they're generally the same thing but made differently. Two different paths towards the same goal. And I mean, that's in a big way same thing with PC too. I mean, you can't just take one of Xbox version of a game and play it on a PC. It's just not how it works. And to me, it's the same thing. To me, when it comes to making games that are optimized with AMD and Intel, for what things need to be done to make it work like that, make it work. I mean, it's easier to make them work with a specific piece of hardware.
Right. I've said it for years. Like, why do we even have separate systems? Like, why do we have an Xbox? And a PS3? Like, why can't we just have one XPS3 or PS box or whatever? Like, why has it got to be separate companies? I understand there's, like, why wouldn't
some people just want to watch the world burn?
Just don't understand. Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's no.
It's like that. You can say that between AMD and Intel. It's either you love AMD or you hate it. Like, I don't have anybody that's like AMD's okay. It's either like you're Intel or you're AMD. It's just same with PlayStation and Xbox. Like, I'm PS3 personally.
Well, you never see people saying, "Oh, I got a half and half AMD Intel machine." I don't even know if you could do that.
Well, a lot of people do that. They use Intel processors, AMD cards, graphics cards.
Okay, well,
you see that often, but I don't see the point of mixing them. If you're gonna go AMD, go AMD. If you're gonna go Intel, go Intel.
Right.
Because all the parts are designed specifically to work with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to me that just makes sense.
Like, my AMD video card pairs very well with my AMD processor. It just makes sense to me.
Right. I mean, I'm sure console companies don't think differently than when they make their stuff. I mean, I understand, you can put like a cheap Chinese made hard drive in them, but or your disk drive. I'm pretty sure Hitachi made the disk drive for one of the consoles, I believe. I think it was Hitachi. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. And
yeah, I think it's PS3.
That's what I think too.
I remember rooting around and I think that was what it is, because they use Toshiba hard drives as well. PlayStation does. Or Seagate. They might have switched to Seagate now because Seagate's cheaper.
Actually, I think
that's another topic.
Actually,
Seagate is awful.
Sometimes you can find a Fujitsu hard drive in your PlayStation also. Little fun fact for you: find a Fujitsu, you got fucked. For reals, man. That's what I'm talking about. And the main thing we want to talk about in the program today is me and Silvix here. We enjoy MMOs. We love MMOs. Back when I started gaming back in the wee early 80s, when I was born with the controller in my hand. You know, back then, human interaction while gaming was pretty much just based on who was in the room with you. You couldn't actually talk. You couldn't play with other people unless they had their controller plugged in. Fast forward, to where we're at now. I mean, nowadays. I mean, you don't even. You could have.
It's almost annoying nowadays. It's like, I want to play. Can I play now? Oh, you already pushed start. God damn it.
Like, you can actually have a nice social life and not even leave your house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. I mean, me and Silvix, we played DC Universe for a very long time. Well, actually, I can't say a very long time. It's only been out for, what, 3-4 years, maybe?
I gave it a good 2 solid years.
I don't know, it's been longer.
I love the game, don't get me wrong. Just there's a lot of issues.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing from launch, so, I mean, I got to see all those crazy issues. But, like, what point I was trying to get at is when, like, MMOs, like, social interaction in video games is almost like a mainstay nowadays. Even your single player games, you can have some small aspect of.
It's almost a bad thing though, because it's making
people
extremely lazy.
Yes, it is true.
I mean, before too long, I mean, shit, maybe in the next 20 or 30 years, we won't even have to leave the house for anything. You know what I mean? It's almost at that point now. Like, you can get food ordered. You can even, some cities, you can even get groceries ordered to your house and they bring them. No, you can get your pet medication online or your medication online. You can pay all your bills online now.
Well, actually, fun fact also for you, you've been able to get groceries delivered to your place for an extremely long time.
Oh yeah, I know this.
But I mean, nowadays it's becoming more prominent. Back, like you go way back. I mean, that was like something for the elite. Those people in their hoity-toity mansions. Thinking shit's so fancy they need 2 monocles. Maybe one up their ass. I don't know. But I mean, to me, it's a nice social convenience. I mean, connecting with other gamers is definitely a huge positive advancement in the gaming world. I mean, I remember you couldn't really connect to people gaming unless you were hanging out at the game store, or in the arcade.
Right.
Of course, back then.
And you're right about having to actually have the shit plugged in. You had to have 2 people there in your room.
Right. I mean, you couldn't.
Now you can play Mortal Kombat with a friend in Vietnam.
Right. Well, yeah. The point I wanted to make.
Will send $5 American to anyone who gets that reference.
Oh, and I will use that $5 to drive over to Silvix's house and smack him for using my name. No, see that's just a payback for the one time I used your name in a video on our channel. So all right, we're even. But I was saying, like, me and Silvix, we made friends down in Louisiana. Playing DCU, we made. Through playing Call of Duty, playing zombies, we have a friend down in Australia now. Like people we actually consider, actual friends.
Yes.
Like these aren't just acquaintances, people I game with. Like these are actual friends. Like we actually, give a shit about, what happens in their lives. That's the beauty of how gaming has advanced. The connection now that you can have with other gamers. It's no longer, you're just by yourself.
Yep.
I mean, if for those solidarity people, when it comes to me playing my single player games, I just want to be there playing my single player games, unless I'm making a YouTube video.
See, that's a good point. See, I'd rather play multiplayer games nowadays. I was the same way back in the day. Like, I loved Final Fantasy games, and we covered that last week. But I loved playing them, and they were all single player. But now that you get a taste of the MMO, I mean,
or
it's hard to go back. It's so much better being able to kill real people than
right,
than to be killing monsters all the time. It's nice to be able to do that.
No, I like being able to have the option. Like, I still like playing my my RPGs, like, but I also really like going, like, if I got spare 10 minutes, I literally have nothing to do. I mean, I'll jump on my PlayStation, put on a little Black Ops, because I'll be goddamn if I buy a Ghost, and I'll just sit there and pwn some noobs for 10 minutes, and believe it or not, I swear to God, there are so many 13-year-olds in the world who have humped my mom. That's insane. Little bastards. But, I mean, and where I want to go from the whole connection from MMOs, well, let's talk about a couple MMOs. I think that's a excellent thing. Let's dish about MMO, Silvix.
Well, we spoke a little bit about DC Universe. That's a good way to start. I mean, we know
let's
enough
talk
about
more of
that.
My opinion on DC Universe, it to me, it's almost like the quintessential my first MMO. It's
right. It is pretty dumbed down. Like, if you don't know how to play an MMO, it's a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely. And like the only real issues I mean, this is like software wise issue would be when we were playing, man. The voice chat would either constantly go out.
Oh yeah.
Or you had to like when you got into a group, you had to go into your settings, turn your speaker volume, like kind of wiggle the slider, or else, man, you got some pain in your ears and everyone hated you. I just remember when I get on, it's like, I'll adjust your headset. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that was that in a way, to me, was the only real big annoying.
It just
issue
occurred to
with
me that
game.
people out there are probably like, what the fuck is DC Universe Online? And it probably would be important to explain that it is a DC game, as you can tell. And
right,
you can
right,
either be a hero or a villain, just the same in the comic books of DC. You can fight against Batman, or you can fight with him. You got the Joker, some other key people.
It's developed by Sony Online Entertainment in association with DC Comics, Warner
We're
Brothers.
just inconsiderate. We're just like, yeah, DC, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it is a fun game, though. I did enjoy it, but I'm done. Because I used to have the subscription, so I got tired of paying the monthly fee. I'm just like, this is dumb. Why am I paying to play this game when there's so many games out there for free?
Well, I mean, I didn't have an issue paying.
Of course, you can play free, but once you start paying and getting the subscription, you don't want to play it without it.
Yeah, it's really so hard to.
Like, if you get it for free and only play it for free, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. But of course, you miss out on all the DLC and all that shit.
Yeah, you can pay for a month, get like a couple million in cash, and then as soon as you go back to free, it's like, oh my god.
Well, you don't go to free. That's the benefit. If you spend $5, then whenever you're done, it drops you in the premium class, which is like the next step up.
Well, I'm still not paying for it though.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to pay for that. That's what happens once you're free and you buy something.
All right, but still, I mean, I still get like couple million dollars in my escrow that I can't touch now. Oh, you got to pay real money to get your
that's the biggest bitch. You can only hold so much money, and
fuckers.
you got so much sitting there in escrow that you can't even fuck with. It's idiotic. Like, and they have no plans. Like, you can pay real money. Get this, I think it's $1 or $2, but you can pay real money to unlock your escrow for like a week or 3 days or whatever you buy.
Right.
Which is so stupid. Like, you have to pay real money to get fake money. Like, why? And people do it. Like, why would you even offer that? That's just a dick move.
Oh, dude, even worse, man. These people who play a World of Warcraft, man. Like that is some hardcore shit there.
People do get way into that. I can never get into it.
I've played the most minimal amount of World of Warcraft as one person could, and I'm telling you,
I gave it a good solid month. I really did. And I didn't even pay for it because I was on a friend's server, and everything was the exact same at the time. I mean, there's, how many add-ons now since I played it, but
I don't know, 58.
I know they're on like tier 20 something or so. DC, we were on what, T6.
Yeah, when we stopped.
I mean, I think that's what it's up to now. Is T6, it might be T7, but nonetheless, you can see the difference. T20 something, like, that's so much.
I mean, I've watched one of my buddies' gameplay videos of it. I mean, his skill bar is like so freaking long. There's like,
right. You have people that don't even play with keyboard. You seen them? They're just like extra, like, numbers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand
because they just use voice chat, so they don't need to type to anybody, and everything can just run by these like hotkeys in your mouse. It's nuts.
Man, I don't understand how you can have like. I saw like over 20 skills in his skill bar. I stopped counting out of boredom, and like watching all these like, and I mean it's to me it's like, how do you follow this game?
Right. Not to mention all the quests you got to do. There's so much to do in that game. Like, you have a profession and you have all this other shit you got to do.
I mean, there's nothing.
You got all these raids you got to do to get your gear, which is typical for an MMO. You join up and collectively go get loot, but.
Yeah, ratings like one of the staples.
Yeah, And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's so much you have to do, and then you throw raids on top of all that other shit you have to do. It's like, wow, it's no wonder that you see these like 350-pound people with pimples all over them, just sitting around playing, and some of them even run on like 3 characters at once on 3 different computers. You ever seen that shit?
Oh, I've seen a guy who had a guild of only his characters, and he would literally run full guild raids.
Yeah, it's
with
nuts.
all of his characters.
That's fucking crazy. Like, if you have to have 20 computers to play a game, maybe you should fucking stop. Just pick another game. That is crazy.
I mean,
can never see on any game. I can never see doing that. That's way too much money, way too much dedication. Think all the money you got to pay for the systems.
I mean, and I know people who have been playing WoW for like years and years and years and never missed a single payment on their subscription.
Right.
Because they'll wake up in the morning, go to work. I don't know. They're probably sitting at work thinking about
That's not true. They wake up early to
off
go.
in the bathroom to their character
I've seen
build.
some people that will wake up early to play it a little bit before they go to work and then continue playing when they get home.
Like literally, their life is World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm all about immersion, but when you prefer that fantasy world more than the real world, that you literally make an attempt to not live in the real world, then you got a problem.
Yeah, especially if you're putting on all that weight because you're not exercising whatsoever. I mean, you're just sitting there eating Cheetos and fucking Mountain Dew all day.
Did you say that they're fucking Mountain Dew all day? They'd have to stop playing to do that.
Fucking eating. I said fucking eating. Take that how you want.
Sexual innuendo? Still acceptable. Well, like...
Cigarette time.
I mean, when it comes to, like, an MMO, like... I mean, nowadays, you got a total huge spike in free-to-play MMOs.
Right.
Now, that's where you got a big thing. I mean, when it comes to paid MMOs, of course, I'd say you got your holy...
And again, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Free does not mean it's good. I mean, there are a couple really good free ones, which we're going to talk about one in a second here.
Yeah, let's
but there is quite a few free ones that are good, but there's a lot of them that are really shitty. And they're just out there just to jump in the vibe.
Let's finish talking about the ones you got... The ones that are based on paying, like I said, we talked about WoW.
Right. WoW, WoW, like you have to pay. That's the same thing with ESO now. You got to pay to play that,
ESO,
which is why it turned me off. I want to play it, but I can't commit to it. I did that for 2 years for DC. I can't do it anymore.
That's a big thing right now when it comes in the gaming world. When it comes to MMOs, it's like how the pay structures for these games. Like as you said, DCU is free to play, but you can subscribe to it. You get all the DLC. You basically get every feature unlocked, except for your microtransactions, where you go in there at the marketplace. You can buy
buy skins.
You can buy like
skins
things for your weapons, scanners to go find nodes to improve things. You can get
scanners. I spent a fair bit of money on them motherfuckers too.
Oh my god!
I only bought them though when they were sale. You got 2 for 50 cents, and it was beast.
I'm pretty sure I still have scanners on my characters. I never use them.
The best thing about DC, like you won't find anything in that microtransaction store for more than like $10, which is kind of nice because everything's reasonably affordable. Like there's things on there for $1. Like I said, those scanners are $1.
DCU to ESO. ESO, you actually have to buy the game first. Now the game was the base game I think was probably 60 something ish, somewhere around the ballpark at 60. You can get a collector's edition for a little bit more. The Imperial edition, which to me, I mean, the physical Imperial edition was the one that it was like $97 that I saw. But
Jesus.
But
does it come with a bar of gold?
Well, the physical edition came with some pretty cool stuff. I mean, it came with I think it was a statue of Moloch Baal.
Shit, man, for $100, they better come with something cool.
I
got it in my paying that for D3 because you got Diablo 2 for free in it, and the thumb drive, and a free thumb drive. You got the collector's edition, all the artwork. You got the digital, or not the digital, but the
DVD.
Yeah, the DVD and those little cards they put in there so you could play it for free or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, it gave you 2 guest passes, and then it gave you a pass to play a World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Which, god damn you, Blizzard. God damn you, still trying to shut
that's
that
their
game
bread
down
and
my
butter.
throat.
They're actually officially done designing World of Warcraft, though. They actually announced they're not making any more expansions or anything.
No, it's about damn time.
Makes you wonder what Blizzard's working on now, though.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure developers at a Blizzard are jumping out the windows now because they don't know what to do with themselves.
I wouldn't be surprised to hear a big announcement at BlizzCon about a new game because they got BlizzCon coming up.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder if they'll make a sequel to World of Warcraft, Universe of Warcraft.
Wouldn't that suck?
Wah! As the
UL.
executives announcing it, like you can see his horns rising from his head and this little
His people's turn
ponytail
to dollar
coming out.
signs. Yeah.
Give me your money now.
All right. Well, that covers the basic ones. Do we want to get to the big bullet point? I can't wait no longer, man. We got to discuss it.
You and your big bullet points. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. You go ahead and tell and tell them. It's fun.
All right, man. It's this game, and it's epic for a free MMO. It really is. It's kind of like DC, where it's free, but you can pay for advanced features. But it's called Neverwinter. It's a Dungeons and Dragons game. You may have heard of it. But it's basically...
I'm sure anyone listening to this had to have heard of D&D at some point.
Yeah, I'm confident of it.
So we're not giving you a history lesson. You want to do that, go to Perfect World's website, look it up for yourself.
Yes. But basically, it's Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter, and if you've ever played the what do you call that? The board version? Actual D&D where you're sitting around with a bunch of friends.
Tabletop.
With the paper and all that. It's the same thing, but it's all digitized. So all that's there. Like you can still roll in the beginning for your starting stats. Typical D&D banter.
Now, I played a lot of tabletop D&D, and I will tell you what. To me, that is the original MMO.
That's a good point.
D&D has been
around
for.
That's good.
D&D's been around since before we've been around.
Right.
I was born in '83. D&D was a staple at that point.
Back when you actually had imaginations and not just video games.
I don't need an imagination. My cell phone tells me what to imagine. But sitting around with a bunch of your friends dressed up as like warlocks.
Right. Yeah. You ever went to one of them? That was awesome. People actually got into it like that. They put cloaks on and shit.
Yeah. That's how I first got into it. And I had a Christian upbringing too, and like the church, my church, like all these Christian people, like, oh, this is the devil here. I'm like, well, yeah, the devil exists in this game. That's who we're going to kill. Isn't that a good thing? Well, I actually right before we recorded this, I actually played Neverwinter for the first time. Well, the MMO. There was
Slacker.
two
Unprepared.
Oh, shut the hell up. There were two single player Neverwinter games, Neverwinter and Neverwinter 2. I think they were actually called Neverwinter Nights, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
But they were based. It's based in the same region of the world. As I said, it's my first. I just started playing it, but
we did touch base on this last
north.
week. We did mention something about it in the last show. About Neverwinter,
And definitely from me, I made at least probably well over 10 D&D characters in my life. But yeah, the character, I'd have to say the character creation process was pretty spot on, except for you actually got to physically make your character. I know you didn't mess around with the character creation a whole lot. Or Silvix. Ha, see?
Oh, I did.
Now we're even. You didn't even catch that, did you?
I heard you.
Moving on, but oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, you already made 2 characters. Like I made my character. I only have one, a female wood elf. She's a ranger, and I actually spent like an hour screwing around with all the little sliders.
No, I did. I have 2 characters, but yeah, I did it on my first character. First one I made, I went through all that whole thing.
Yeah,
I just didn't do it for the video I did because I didn't feel like wasting all that time.
Right. But yeah, like the character creation was in the only difference is that you can re-roll your stats like permanently. When you're playing tabletop, basically the dungeon master, the person in charge, the god of your world, basically the one telling the story, could decide like if you could get like a minimal number of re-rolls, or if you roll once and whatever you roll, that's it.
Right.
They decided to give you unlimited, which.
Well, I like the idea of being able to re-roll because you never know. Like when you're playing, you could get gear that's specified for this certain setup, and you went the other way. It's
right.
You take it as you get it. I like the idea. There's a lot of games that have been adapting to that where you can reset your stats and stuff.
Right. I mean, and a lot of them do it at a price too, which is cool. Like I don't.
Yeah. I agree with that. It should cost something. You shouldn't just be able to do it.
Like I hate games where you can basically they make it too easy for you to get really OP so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's not really my cup of tea. I'm not a fan of games that make it just too easy for you. Like and another thing, especially with MMOs lately, there's a big difference in a lot of them when it comes to like your death penalty. For those who don't know, death penalty is when you die. You're supposed to take a big hit. Like I remember in Diablo 2. I mean, Diablo's not an MMO; it's a RPG with multiplayer. But they had the absolute best death penalty. You would lose a bunch of money. You would lose experience.
And your gear.
All your gear would degrade. I mean, when you died,
you also lost your gear. Remember, you had to go back and get your body.
Yeah.
Which Warcraft adapted that, so you really have to coin that to Warcraft. Because Warcraft was around before Diablo.
I don't like giving credit to Warcraft.
Oh yeah, but it's a do there. I think they're the ones that coined that idea of the death penalty.
Well, I mean, death penalties were around, but to make it a serious thing, I think you're right about that. I think you are.
Well, that's what it is. It's the same thing in Warcraft. That's what I'm saying. Like you lose experience, you lose money, and then you go back and you gotta get your body.
It takes you to the graveyard.
You're like in a ghost form until you get your body, or whatever.
Astral, ethereal.
Well,
whatever.
We can agree with one thing. As with all MMOs, it's very. Wait for it. It's MMO-y. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hi-oh.
It's definitely an MMO. Like, you don't mistake it when you play it. Like, you get on, you're like, holy shit, MMO. Like, right in your fucking face.
It's just rubbing its sweaty MMO balls right under your nostrils.
Like I said,
they want you the full smell.
Like I was saying, they did a pretty good job with the animation and the cinematography and all the artwork and everything in the game. Like, it looks good.
Yeah, I'll definitely say the opening sequence is tits.
Mm-hmm. And you check that out on our channel. Go to FragKing Gaming on YouTube. I just put a video up, and it includes the whole little character intro. When you first make a character, that's what you watch, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely like it. Because there's a lot of you can tell how much work was put into like a free-to-play MMO.
Right.
It's by just how the look of it. Like the only other free-to-play MMO that I could consider as beautiful as Neverwinter, which might actually be more beautiful. It's up for debate. It's Terra Rising. To me, that game was a breath of fresh air until Neverwinter came out. Because now it actually has some competition.
I didn't mind Terra Rising at all. I didn't get rid of it because I didn't like it. I got rid of it because I got Neverwinter. I'm like, well, I don't need two MMOs. That ain't happening. That's the other thing with MMOs we should have talked about a little earlier. Like when you do an MMO, it's either like you play that MMO or you do not play that MMO. You'll play something else.
Silvix likes to play MMOs, and his MMOs are very important to him. MMOs. But like I don't know, I got what do I got? I got ESO because I'm actually
too much. I can't do all
I'm
that.
actually paying
one MMO
for it.
and then I'll play other shit.
I got Neverwinter because I started playing that. I got Terra Rising. My friend of mine asked me to play a Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Ah, yes,
and,
that's popular.
Oh my god,
we'll have to touch base on that on next week's episode because I did want to get into that.
Oh, I'm going to touch base on it now. Oh my god, man, that game is just drags you from the start. I mean, I like how the options. I mean, because it's made by BioWare, who are famous for Dragon Age and Mass Effect, and it does the same. It's basically running on the same platform that they are. You got your different choices. You got your good choice, you got your smart ass choice, and you got your bad guy choice, and how you respond to things affects the world around you. Blah blah blah. I'm not talking about that stuff. That stuff's perfectly fine. It's playing the game itself that really drove me insane. Like, because one, your dude runs slow as fuck. I mean, this dude later has two speeds: slow and stop. And then you run up to and like there's this one.
You're talking about Star Wars, right?
Yeah, the Old Republic. And there's this part in it where you got to run up, you got to fight these things in the beginning. And I swear to God, they're street sharks.
Street sharks.
Yeah, you remember Street Sharks, right? I swear to God, that's what they are.
The only thing I can think of with Street Shark is watching C-Lab 2021, Sharko. Like every time I think Street Shark, that's what I think.
Marco put his human penis in my mom's shark vagina. Well, I mean, that game, oh my god. I mean, yeah, that game's free to play. It has, I think it has some stuff you can pay for also. I didn't really do a lot with that game because I'm trying to go through the first arc of the game, and I'm sitting. It literally feels like I'm trying to pull myself through for dear life just to get to the next part. Like it was so uninteresting to me.
Right.
And I love the Star Wars universe. Not so much since Disney took over, because I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's gonna be just god awful. Kind of makes me want to
new
do a movie critic review show
yeah, right.
because there's so many of them that I could just
Destroy.
bitch slap. I'd love it.
Yeah, the new Star Wars trilogy is going to be absolutely terrible. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Miley Cyrus montage in there somewhere.
Woohoo! I hope she has her tongue out again. That was so hot. With her teddy bear and her
you through the screen.
chicken thigh ass cheeks.
Yeah, right. Like you'll go into like a weird seedy bar, and you'll see an old ass Han Solo tipping a twerking Miley Cyrus.
That's terrible. That's just a
Oh,
vision I
God.
didn't need. Thanks.
Yeah, it's gonna take so many headbutts to.
Can't wait
get
till we
rid
do
of
the
that.
video version of this episode so we can. Oh, I got it. I'm just gonna throw a raw chicken in for the whole time we're talking about it. You just see a picture of a raw chicken with its tongue hanging out.
Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and produce that because I don't want to.
Before we get too far from it, I want to go back to a couple things with Neverwinter.
Right.
We talked about the good points of it. How it looks good, it runs well, it's free. It's typical what you'd expect out of an MMO.
Oh, before we get to any downsides, we got to talk about the gameplay itself because the gameplay to me is very, very balanced.
Oh yeah, I like it. I think they did well. Like they definitely make it so, if you're a ranged character, you're a ranged character. I love
Right.
that part of it. Like it's not like a ranged character can shoot a missile, or a melee character can shoot a missile. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right. And I like how the what was Hunter Ranger is. We both have ones like that. And actually, I did a little bit of reading. And I like how it does have the ability to switch to a melee stance.
Oh yeah, you get that. I want to tell you that. I hit level 17. I think you get that at it's either 10 or 15. I don't remember.
And that's cool. I really like that aspect.
But yeah, when you do that, you can switch, which is nice, yes, because you're not always going to be able to take a shot with a bow.
Right.
If
Yeah,
you're right next
I was
to them,
playing
switch
Terror
to-
Rising, and I had an archer, and with Terror Rising, they're way to us. Like, yeah, you're a ranged guy, but holy crap, they're gonna get to you. I don't care what game you're playing. If you're a ranged person, you will have close quarters combat. And how they did a series of evasive moves, you plant like a mine, and then you have those little backstep you can do, which is fine, but I wanted things where I can actually still, if they wanted to get in there, I didn't want to have to run, which is fine, but fine thinking for a ranged character because you're a ranged character. You're not supposed to be up in the fight.
Exactly.
But I like how the Hunter Ranger.
But
like how
occasionally you
they-
get surrounded, and what are you going to do? That's the beauty of it.
right. I mean,
That you
I
can
don't
switch to
want
that.
I don't want to I don't want to have to run all the time. Like to me it
Right, yeah, that's stupid. Just because you're ranged doesn't mean you're a pussy. And some games do that. Like, look at Diablo 3, for example. Like, your ranged classes, like, if they get hit, they're fucked, you know what I mean? Like, that's dumb. You have to run a lot in that game.
right. D3. I mean, I have a demon hunter. You have one too, don't you?
Yeah, I have one of each class.
They have, what was that? It's the thing where they fire a bolt down into the ground and it sends you flying backwards. I mean, at least
Yeah.
it gives. At least
Well, yeah,
you're
it's nice that they
attacking
give you
as
evade
back up.
moves. It does that in the Neverwinter, too, with the Hunter Ranger. You get evasive moves if you haven't noticed. Like, it'll drop you back
Right.
or whatever.
Right, but they give you the option that if you're in a close quarters combat situation, you have the ability to pull out a melee weapon and you can fight with it, which to me is cool. I like having that option. I mean, I said I haven't gotten that far with it, but we can definitely I haven't gotten I haven't gotten to the part where I can actually use that ability.
Well, we can
but
team
I'm
up
looking
sometime, and
forward
I can
to
show
it.
you some things that you can do later.
Right, that'd be cool. And
And I'll mess
yeah,
with you.
definitely. I mean, what's really nice about Neverwinter, as I said, Terror Rising was a breath of fresh air to me. Neverwinter is even more of a breath of fresh air because it looks good, play style's very balanced.
It's fucking
I mean,
free.
It's free. Like you
You
can
can only have
actually
two
go
characters,
with-
though. That is a downside as well.
I'm alright with that. I'm not a guy who has like a million characters.
You can buy more
like,
character slots if you want to.
right. Actually, how much are they? Did you look?
I didn't look, but James was looking into it for me, and he said that you can
Silvix's brother.
you can buy a couple. Yes, my bro. AKA
Yeah,
Remy. You might see him in a few videos.
Yeah, he gets around. He pokes around in our things every now and then.
The other thing that's good about this game is I've been playing it for, we'll call it 3 weeks. And there's been virtually no downtime. Like, the only time I saw that it was down was today because I caught it on Facebook. It said that they were down for about 30 minutes because they were resolving a technical issue. But that's the only time I've seen it down. It hasn't been down any other time I've played it, which is pretty good. You need an MMO to be up all the time, have it, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be down for long periods of time.
Right. I mean,
because then you're going to lose interest in people in the game.
Yeah, I noticed that like games like DCU and ESO, they both they go down once a day. ESO goes down and it feels like forever.
Right. See, that's okay. That's all right to do a cleanup period. I understand the necessity for that. You want it to do that so the servers don't crash later because they're bogged down.
Right.
That's a good idea. But there's games out there that do the same thing, but they don't shut down. Like, I don't know why everybody doesn't adapt to that. Like, you can do it as it's playing. I mean, it seems like it'll lag a little bit, you know. Like, you'll notice a difference when it's going on. So.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely okay with games making sure that maintenance is regular and timely, because I've seen some free-to-play MMOs where literally it will go down at any point. Like, they do their maintenance when they can. It's not scheduled, and that drives me nuts. Because, I mean, I've sampled a lot of MMOs. I'm not a lot of them not really the biggest fan of, because as I said, like, you really gotta, I mean, it's almost like you get what you pay for, and you're not paying anything, so think about what you're gonna get.
Exactly. And that's what you gotta do with DC as well, DC Universe. Like, there's a lot of issues with it, but you gotta take it with the bad. I mean, you can play it for free. What more do you want? And it's updated, you know, pretty regularly. If not once a week, it'd be like every other week.
Right. I definitely think SOE does a pretty decent job with their maintenance. I don't like how as far as I know, they still haven't
Their
fixed
tech support is just awful, though. Sony's tech support is just, it's an abomination. I don't know what better word to describe it than that. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They can't ever answer a question with like a simple answer. They'll just reroute you with more questions and other shit.
I don't know. EA's tech support might be worse.
It's like going on WebMD. You're like, man, I got a slight cough. Now I have cancer. Son of a bitch.
What the hell is
same concept? It's ridiculous because it just redirects you to all kinds of different shit. It's like I asked you why I can't connect, and you're telling me that maybe I need to buy a new router. It's like, it's not my goddamn router. I've already explained this to you. I can play any other game, just not this one.
I will have to say though, ESO, who is developed by ZeniMax Online Studios, their tech support is freaking great.
That's good.
I love them. I actually have a friend who answers phones for them. I'm pretty sure he answers phones for them. He works for ZeniMax, and he helped me getting myself set up with ESO, and he did a spectacular job.
That's cool.
Anybody who either plays ESO or has to talk to ZeniMax, treat those guys with respect. They are great guys, and they do an excellent job.
All right, let's touch base on a couple of the downsides that I've noticed when I was playing.
Right.
Like I said, I do have a character. I got to level 17 or so. So I got the feel for, you know, the gameplay and, you know, all the stuff that I look for when I'm playing a game. But one disappointing fact is that sometimes the audio is not synced with the video, especially on the cinematography. And I know that's not a computer issue because I've looked at like the trailers on their website and it does the same shit.
Right.
And I've looked at it from multiple computers. Like, I've checked it from my old computer, I've checked it on my laptop, and I can see that the audio is out of sync. But otherwise, it's, you know, it's good. I mean, the movies are still absolutely stunning, and the audio sounds good. It's just not always in sync.
Which, I'm pretty sure there's somewhere in the development that there's probably variables that we have no clue about that affect that. I mean, I've seen some be synced, some be not. I'm sure it's an off and on issue, maybe.
Right.
But I think you're mostly right about that. I mean, I didn't really see other than that, I didn't see a whole lot of downsides, really. I mean,
now, well, the other thing, and it's somewhat common with your MMOs, but there's a lot of dialogue for a simple quest. Like there's one quest, and you were here when I did this one. This is that arrow quest. The one quest I did, it required me to just get some arrows for the archers, right? The defender fort. And it ended up being like 15 minutes talking to NPCs about the situation and 10 seconds to get 9 arrows that you have to desperately seek.
Which I remember commenting on that. Okay, all of your archers are out of arrows, but you only want me to get 9.
Yeah, it's like all that dialogue for just such a simple
out of
task.
arrows again, sir. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand. I mean, to me, I like dialogue in my
I do too, but not
game.
for a simple quest like that. Like if it's a deep quest, like a whole quest line, like you're saving this bitch's dad from a pack of hungry wolves, that's cool. Entice me. Give me some drama. I need it.
Well, wouldn't that be the time where you don't want to do a lot of talking?
No, see,
my father's getting eaten by wolves.
in real
Tell me
time,
about
yes.
the town
but
you came from.
game time is always different. You need to hurry up. If you don't hurry, it'll end. Well, I guess I'm gonna light the cigarette and go cook some dinner, and then I'll press X when I come back, and then we'll be on our way.
Yeah, right. I mean, I like immersion in my stories. I like being able to get into it.
I like it. I want the storyline to grab me. That's the whole point. That's why you're playing it. That should be why you're playing it.
Which is definitely good. I mean, well, I mean, yeah, you are right. I mean, developers really need to take the time to think about that specific quest.
Right. And then once again, like you said earlier, I mean, it's free. You get what you pay for, or don't pay for it in this case.
To me, a couple extra lines of dialogue is not going to be a decision breaking.
It's not a hassle. It depends on the quest. Like if I'm all I have to do is get 9 arrows and I got to hear this entire backstory. Like just tell me that when I'm done. Like why do I got to do that throughout the quest? All you're doing is like it's a cheap way just to get me to play your game longer. When I'm really not playing it, I'm fucking reading. You know what I mean? That's what irritates me. I have no problems with long dialogue quests. Just for a simple task like that, that's retarded.
Save it for the JRPGs.
Exactly.
All right. Well, another form of now it's not a MMO RPG. Another form, as a lot of people know by now, is the MOBA, Massive Online Battle Arena.
Yeah, something like that.
But also known as a MOBA. And there's been a lot of them popping up lately.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Of course, you got the King, League of Legends.
That's right. That's good shit.
You got its angry cousin, DOTA.
Right.
Defense of the Ancients, which is actually, fun fact for you, started out as a mod for World of Warcraft, actually.
Really?
It was actually a modded, it was a mod for it, and it was just a nice little battle arena you can go and tear shit up in.
That's pretty cool.
And then they actually, I think it's a Valve game now. I think Valve actually bought it and made it into a actual game. You can get it on Steam. I got it for a while because I've been a pretty decent fan of League of Legends, but and Silvix knows what I'm talking about. But I'm on my 3rd account, not by my own fault, and we're not going to go into detail about that because we'll spend the rest of the program talking smack on Riot.
Right, yeah. Riot is just... I mean, I like them. They're a good company, but they don't have all the shit together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially, and this is all I'm going to say about it. When somebody steals my account, and then they go, well, it's not your account, it's their account. Fuck you. Seriously, the only reason I made another account was to play with you and our friends. That's
right.
Otherwise, I would have took a shit in a box and sent it to them priority mail.
Didn't you lose 2 accounts?
Yeah, I lost 2 of them. I'm on my 3rd one.
Yeah, that's right. Because you had the one where you were pretty high level, and then that one got screwed up, got hacked or whatever.
Oh no, that one didn't get hacked. That was somewhere on there.
One of them got hacked.
Screwed up.
Oh, that was Diablo 3, wasn't it? That got hacked.
I don't have a whole lot of luck with accounts.
I guess not.
Well, yeah, with the first League of Legends account, I'll tell the story real quick. My first account, something happened on their end, screwed up my information, and basically my name, my account name, my name that you would see me became a big gobbledygook of like random letters, and there was no way to fix it, so I'm not going to be known as.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I got rid of that
okay,
account,
that was that game. Account. All right. Yeah, I remember that because I was like, "What's your name so I can add you?" It's 0. This isn't right. Like I am not typing all that.
XR753008Bs.
Yeah, it was bad. It's like who the hell can even read this?
My other account got hacked, and then actually when I spent literally 2 weeks talking to Riot about getting my account back, they actually told me that it was in fact the person who stole its account and was giving me crap. Like, how would you feel if we gave your account to some random person? Actually, allow me to answer that for you. Pretty fucking angry. I mean, if I think I still actually have the conversation saved just so I can read it and laugh about it and plot my revenge. But yeah, now I was almost level 30 twice, and now I'm back to another account. I think I'm level 4 or 5.
No, you're more than that. You're somewhere close to 10.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I don't know. The grind seems like it's never going to end for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a grinder. I can dig in and get those levels when I need them. But holy crap, when it doesn't freaking end because they won't let it end. I'm sorry, but yeah. I mean, what's really cool to me about MOBAs is that it's nothing that is too extensive. There is an ending at some point. Because I mean, you could jump on and say, I guarantee it's going to happen to me at least once. I'm going to go on Neverwinter. Like, yeah, I'll play for an hour. 8 hours later.
Oh yeah, that's what happened when I first played it. Like when I made my first character, I got to like level 10, I think, and that night I couldn't just stop. The only reason I stopped was I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh my god, it's 2 o'clock. I need to get the fuck off of here. But it sucked me in, man. I'll be honest with you. Like it got me. I like the game a lot.
That's good. I mean,
I'm gonna play it when we're done doing this.
What I like about who makes that? Cryptic?
Yeah, Cryptic Studios.
Right. Cryptic, I think, did an excellent job on a free-to-play MMO.
Yeah, definitely.
That really helps out.
I mean, I've never heard of the company, but apparently they've got all kinds of games. I was checking out their site.
Yeah, I've heard of them before. They're not bad. I mean, I think this is just a really good job by them. But touching back to the MOBA thing. Now, how MMOs got started, you had your elite MMOs, like those ones that stand above the rest, and then you got like this big group of these really shitty, poorly made, hey, we're a small-time developer, let's make a free-to-play MMO. A week later, you got it. It's the same things happening now to MOBAs, and that just pisses me off.
Right.
Now, to me, you got the holy trinity of MOBAs. You got League of Legends, DOTA, and Smite.
Oh yeah, Smite. Yes, I did. Somebody on League of Legends told me about that the other day, or explained it to me.
Yeah,
they like both though. The guy I was playing with.
I have it and I've played it. What's really cool about it's a MOBA from a behind the back third-person view. It's not a overhead thing like in League of Legends. To me that gives you a lot of immersion in there when you're actually down in the arena.
Right.
Running around and you can actually jump in it. That's pretty cool. I mean, granted, like Dota and League of Legends are for the most part the same style of game. I think Dota actually has a little bit more to it.
Right.
Because you can destroy the landscape. If you order something, buy something in the shop, you can actually have a little donkey run it out to you so you don't have to teleport back.
See, that's the main reason I like these games, while you're on that subject. I like that every match, you can customize it differently. Like, you can build differently, you can use different runes and different skills and stuff like that. I like that each match is, for the most part, unique.
Right.
I like that.
For it being as...
It's not like you're doing the grind like in your MMOs where, okay, you got to get to level 60.
Okay, speak for yourself. Only had to go to 30 once. But I mean, yeah. Well, when you boil it down with like, say, League of Legends, it will go with something the majority knows. Like each match is technically I say the same because you start at your end, take down the turrets, get their nexus, win the match. But how you get to there is what's unique each time, especially when you're playing against other people, and that's cool to me,
right?
Because unless you're playing the same team like back to back, the next match is going to be different, and I think that's cool. But that's it for the program. I'm FragKing. He's Silvix.
That's right.
Say bye, Silvix.
Bye, Silvix.
Ah, you fucked up again.
No, I didn't.
Oh well. Enjoy your gaming, guys.
Peace.
My Two Quarters is brought to you by Radio Discord, FragKing Gaming, and PX Productions. For more FragKing and Silvix, check out FragKing Gaming on YouTube. Got questions, feedback, or a topic you want FragKing and Silvix to discuss? email them at fragkinggaming@gmail.com and make sure to put my 2 quarters in the subject box. This has been a 2014 PX production.